Did you continue to work for Mr. Combs after this incident?
I did.
Why did you continue to work for him?
I felt maybe I could have been more transparent.
Transparent about your background?
Yes.
Was this the only time that Mr. Combs threatened you?
No.
From being threatened on your first day to cleaning up after freak-offs, this morning we are spotlighting testimony from a former top aide of Sean Diddy Combs. Capricorn Clark's account of Diddy's volatility and violence kicked off the third week of testimony. While most of the headlines point to what she had to say about the alleged Kid Cudi incident, Clark described in detail what that night in question was like, leading up to the torching of the rapper's car.
What did you observe when you opened your door?
I saw Mr. Combs.
Can you describe Mr. Combs at that time?
He had a white button-down shirt with a button-down sweater, business slacks, gray slacks, and nice shoes.
And can you describe what the slacks look like?
His pants were gray, and they were split, open from knee to knee through the crotch, so I could see his underwear.
Can you describe his face?
Furious, no glasses on.
Did you notice anything in his hand?
A gun.
Did Mr. Combs enter your apartment holding a gun?
Yes.
And when did Mr. Combs tell you once he was inside of your apartment?
He said, "Why didn't you tell me?"
How did you respond?
I said, "I don't know what you're talking about."
What did he say next?
He said, "Who is Scott?" I said, "I don't know any Scott."
What did he say? What did Mr. Combs say after that?
He said, "Kid Cudi." I said, "Oh, Cassie's friend."
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs state about Kid Cudi, Mr. Mescudi?
He just said, "Get dressed. We're gonna go kill this."
Who did you understand him to be referring to?
Cudi.
And when Mr. Combs said or directed you to get dressed to go and kill Cudi, Mr. Mescudi, where was the gun?
In his hand.
When Mr. Combs directed you to go get dressed, how did you respond?
I don't want to go.
How did Mr. Combs respond when you said you did not want to go?
He says, "I don't give a what you want to do, go get dressed."
Was the gun still visible to you at this point?
He had put it in his waist when I moved to get dressed.
The waist of his pants?
Yes.
Can you please describe Mr. Combs's demeanor during this conversation where he directs you to get dressed?
Livid, furious, mad at me.
What, if any, concerns did you have for your safety?
I had never seen anything like this before. He had never come to my house in the entire time I'd known him. I've never seen him with a weapon. I've never seen him making me do something like this.
Did you make any attempts to escape your apartment?
I did not.
Why not?
The way he was acting, I just felt like anything could happen.
Was Mr. Combs ever violent with you during your employment?
Yes.
Approximately when was that?
Summer of 2006.
Where were you at the time?
In his home in Two-Star Island, Miami.
And what, if anything, did Mr. Combs tell you when you had arrived at Two-Star Island in Miami?
He told me, "I don't care what goes on this weekend. You are not to leave this house."
Did Mr. Combs later send you on an errand?
He did.
Where to?
Pharrell Williams, who was a music producer, his manager came over and was dropped off by boat on the back dock for a quick meeting. He had me return Rob Walker to Palm Island, where they were shooting a video.
Did Mr. Combs direct you to do that?
He did.
Approximately how long did you remain on the other island?
An hour.
What were you doing during that time?
Hanging out.
When did you next hear from Mr. Combs?
About an hour in on the phone, I got a call.
What did he say?
"Where the are you?"
What did you do after you got that call?
I went back to Star Island.
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs tell you when you returned to Star Island?
He said, "See, your problem is you want a life, and you can't have that here."
What, if anything, did he direct you with respect to the rest of the weekend?
He said, "Like I said, don't go anywhere. You are not to leave this house."
What happened the next morning?
I woke up and I went to the kitchen to get some breakfast.
What happened then?
I was making my plate. The chef was there. She was tired. I asked her where the turkey bacon was. She said, "There is no more turkey bacon." She was very upset from a long night. And I said, "I hate it here."
And what, if anything, did the chef then tell Mr. Combs in your presence?
She then walked outside to where Puff was standing on the back deck and told him what I said. It exasperated her. He immediately looked at me and said, "You hate it here?" And he charged me.
When you say he charged you, can you describe what he did physically to you?
He ran towards me with his hands open and pushed me, my shoulders, and he started pushing me back.
In what direction?
Out towards the front entrance of the kitchen, through the butler's pantry.
Approximately how far did he push you?
About 25, 30 yards.
And how was he pushing you? Just to make sure the record is reflecting the witness with open hands?
Open hands, right here on my shoulder, like, you know.
The top of your shoulders. What, if anything, was Mr. Combs telling you while he was pushing you in this way?
He said, "You hate it here? Get the out of my house. You hate it here? Get the out of my house." And he repeated it until we were outside.
Can you describe the amount of force that Mr. Combs was using when he was pushing you?
I would say 75%. I never fell. I kept catching myself.
Did anyone intervene?
Yes.
Who?
Paul Offord.
What did Paul Offord do?
He told Puff to stop and he told me to go pack my things.
Did you follow his instructions?
I did.
And after this incident, when Mr. Combs pushed you through his house, did you leave your employment?
I did.
Why did you leave?
That was crossing my boundary.
Here to discuss, entertainment reporter Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, okay, so you have experience working with Sean Combs. Can you talk about this? Is this something that you might have some insight on when you hear testimony from Capricorn Clark like this?
While we were listening to that, I remember I threw a party for Ciroc vodka, and I worked specifically with Diddy. You know, he told me what he wanted the energy to be like. It was in Cabo. It was on a beach. It was a special time for me because I did not have an experience like this. But my ultimate objective was to impress him so much that he would give me a full-time job. And I didn't get that. And in listening to Capricorn Clark's testimony, I can't tell you how grateful I am that I didn't. I had a brief experience with him. I threw a party for him. It was a success. He was very intimidating. He had very high, unrealistically high expectations. So I was fearful of him, and I wanted to make sure that everything was correct. But thankfully, I never saw this side of him. So listening to this testimony, you realize, be careful what you wish for. I remember being so disappointed that nothing else came out of that event, even though I'd done a great job. I remember wanting to work with him and just the magic of what that would be like. I know that some people are sitting back listening to this testimony going, why did she go back after this event or that event? But you have to keep in mind that at the time all of this was happening, in the real world, this was one of the biggest bad boy records. It was one of the biggest record companies. It was one of the quote unquote coolest places to be, and you desperately wanted it on your resume, and you thought if you had it on your resume it could take you somewhere else. But some people get sucked in, and some people are really fearful of him. She says her life was threatened multiple times throughout this process, and some people unfortunately get stuck in the midst of chasing their dreams.
Kinsey, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges the prosecution has in this case, because you have witnesses coming up there explaining this lifestyle and saying there were good times, yet there were bad times, talking about being fearful of their life, but then yet they'd contact him after. They'd continue to want to work for him. So you see defense counsel picking up on that and really, tearing apart their testimony. You were so afraid for your life, but then you wanted to continue working for him. And I can see how you're explaining it. Be careful what you wish for. You're saying you're thankful that maybe you didn't get that job because you'd be in this circle. And it's crazy. When we're sitting there inside the courtroom, when we've been in New York, it's a crazy lifestyle.
It is. And, there are reasons why I think they come back. It's because when I threw that party for him, he flew on a private jet. I think hundreds, at least 100 friends from all over the United States into Cabo for this party. He could be generous. You know, he told me throwing parties is my life. So he had built this brand around him where it was fun, fun, fun. And that is the person you read about in Page 6 or on TMZ. At the time, there was all of this really sinister stuff going on behind the scenes that not even I knew about when I briefly had access to him. So I do think that people looked at the lifestyle that he was putting out there and the brand he'd built for himself. And despite some of those people knowing that times could get really bad, they wanted to be attached to the person that was on the cover of the newspaper, on MTV, with MTV, you know, oh my goodness, he's so cool, he's so wonderful. There was just that association that they wanted to elevate themselves, but also he could be Mr. Good Time sometime.
Oh, yeah, and that's what we're hearing on the stand. Speaking of graciousness, I'm sure that there were times where he was very gracious. We did have a former employee ask about him in regard to, was he a gracious man? That was defense counsel asking, and he said, I would not describe Sean Combs as a gracious man, but I'm certain, Kinsey, when you're talking about these parties and having fun and being in like the realm of this amazing, you know, situation, I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, I mean, this monstrous side, I never heard about it. Even as an entertainment reporter, I never heard that it could get to this extent. But then you do have the East Coast, West Coast 90s chaos. And testimony like this not only adds to that story, but increases interest in it. Because if we didn't know about some of these instances, like Diddy going to Cudi's house and swiping a Chanel bag that was meant to be a gift for Cassie, things like this, you know, you wonder what else happened. You know, what is going to come out through this trial, but what other witnesses are going to come out to talk just because other people have had the courage. I mean, they were subpoenaed, but other people have had the courage to speak too. So I do wonder what other stories will come out over the next few months, just based on what we've heard alone throughout this trial.